morning, y'all. Welcome back to epic nearshore Panama City. Kind of cheated on you a little bit this morning. I started up at the pipeline, and the race boats are out this morning, and were just wearing me out. They were running circles around me. So I decided to move. I've come down to a spot that I like to catch grouper, catch a few fish like this. Starting to get down cool enough that the grouper should be coming back in. So we're going to see what we can catch here for a little bit and bounce around and just hope we catch some. What I'm starting with is my 65 pound line on a Penn 309 and a Penn Mariner reel. I got 3/4 of an ounce of weight and a pinfish. Cut the tail fins off of the pinfish. I want them to be able to move, but I don't want them to be able to swim around and pull the hook and everything where it wants to go, because it don't want to go into the structure. We got an outgoing tide, and wind out of the northeast, so they're kind of working together. One of my 30-pound rods, the Penn Prevail rod with a Cadence 5000 stout. I got 30-pound braid on it, Power Pro, 6/0 hook, 3/4 ounce weight. I'm using a whole, I wouldn't say whole, but I cut the head and the tail off of a cigar lighter, and I'm using everything that was left. Using now, this is a Dial-It Seller. It's actually a freshwater rod. The medium heavy freshwater. It's only rated for 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce weight. So it's be more like a medium action saltwater. I've got a 15-pound Power Pro braid on my Cadence Lux 3000. The Cadence Lux is not as sealed as their stout series, so it does need to be rinsed, every time you use it. But it's a great reel. That's what I thought. They're lane snappers that are down there biting. That's a nice lane snapper. You only have to be 8 inches to keep them. But I don't need any of that now. Most of these horizontal spots out here, you can find, I have a lane snapper on it. But great eating, there's good eating the snapper as there is. You can keep 5 of them per person, per day. You can catch them on just about anything. Now, this is a 3/0 Mustang Demon Perfect Circle hook. 3/4 ounce weight, and I just got a little red bead. All that takes is extra knot in the hook. Weight, not for practice or anything like that. snapper. Another lane snapper. These lane snapper are just really, really pretty fish. And they're really, really good to eat. That was probably 9 inches. Another little red snapper. Another little red snapper. Another lane snapper. Most of the lanes that we catch here in the bay are not real big. They'll be, up to about, probably 12 inches. I've caught bigger ones offshore, and I've caught some, 13, 14 inch lanes here in the bay. But I usually don't catch them. I don't target them. So it's more of a bycatch. But I think we've caught a limit of them so far this morning. Another real nice lane. Alright, so we've moved to another spot. And we'll see if we can get bit over here. Little black sea bass. Little black sea bass. Not quite a keeper. And a black sea bass. This one would be a keeper. They're pretty fish. Got, I don't know, blue or purple in their jaw, black and tan. Pretty fish. And if I was interested in keeping fish today, or if I caught a really big one of those, I'd probably keep one. But probably another black tip. Typically when I find these, they're stacked up. I believe these only have to be 10 to keep them. probably a little short, but nice fish. I catch them a lot on artificial baits on a jig, like a jig head with a bass assassin or a saltwater assassin 4-inch grub. I don't actually have one tied on right now. They're very aggressive, and they're a lot of fun, and they're very tasty. Catching them on pinfish right now. Live pinfish. I've caught them on 8-inch saltwater assassin jerk shad. I don't know, they're like a jerk bait. Put them on a jig head and just bounce them on the bottom. I've caught them that way. And I'm going to show you what I'm fishing here so that you'll understand. So that's the structure on the bottom, and then there's some fish on it. And it's probably not much bigger than the back end of my boat. And it's literally right behind the boat, underneath the back end of the boat. So when the boat turns sideways, I'm not on it. When it sits straight, then I'm on it. So most of what I fish in here is small stuff like this. It's not big high relief structure. We just don't have a lot of it, high relief structure. Wrecks and stuff like that. Now there's a few over in the south end of St. Andrews Bay, and there's one on the right as you go out of St. Andrews Bay, out to the Gulf. But up in here in East Bay, and that's St. Andrews Bay right behind me. East Bay, I'm sitting at the edge of it. There's just not a lot of high relief structure here. We've got drop-offs, we've got, and they're not rocky ledges, but we do have some ledges. What I've got behind me is I've got a long point that sticks way out here, and on this side of it, it's fairly steep. So it goes from about 6 feet to 24 feet in the length of this boat nearly. And I'm fishing right at the bottom of it where it starts to flatten out. And there's just a little bit of structure there. And it could be stuff that's washed down, I don't know. But it's enough to hold fish from time to time. And this is one of the places that I found by literally just idling back and forth, looking at the bottom machine and marking stuff. If I can get the boat straightened back out again, then I'll drop back down. But right now we're sitting sideways and not sitting on it. I could fish off the other side of the boat and I could find it, but waiting for I know the boat will straighten back out. Now they've quit biting, so we're going to leave. This is one of the spots that I typically don't catch red snapper. It's not unusual to catch lane snapper or mangrove snapper, gray snapper, whatever you want to call them. But I typically don't catch red snapper here, and it may be the depth because we're only in 22 feet of water. I do normally catch black sea bass, and occasionally I'll catch a flounder here. But the black sea bass seem to be chasing schools of bait. So there's bound to be other hard structure in this area that I just hadn't found yet. And I found a couple of places, but so the black sea bass will chase the bait. And so when the bait's sitting on here, and it was sitting on here when I first got here, and I caught those 3 black sea bass right back to back to back. But once they move off chasing the bait, you either have to sit here until the bait comes back or just move. So we're going to just move. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So that's the hard bottom. Those are all fish. As you can see, the live bottom shows up as a lighter yellow as opposed to the darker green. Nothing sticking up way above the bottom, it's just there. Since I'm going to fish off and I'll make this point again. If you're bottom fishing trout fishing, redfish fishing, it doesn't make any difference. You need to chum. I didn't catch any pilchards this morning. I couldn't get back up into the creek where I needed to go to get the pilchards, but so I'm just using the heads and tails off of the cigar minnows. I didn't catch enough pinfish to cut them up and use them as chum, but you can buy chum blocks, hang them off the back of the boat or the side of the boat. You need something to attract the fish. You know, they could be swimming over 100 acres of this right here, and if you chum, they'll come. But I can promise you, if I'm driving down the road and I see a sign that says free seafood buffet, I'm gonna stop. That's a big fish. And he got me out there and broke me off. So that's what I'm looking at. That structure, that fish. There's some more structure and more fish. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. I'll let the trolling motor get me sorted out. I'll determine whether I'm going to fish on the right or the left. Right now it's just backing me up a little bit, turn me sideways, straighten out a minute. There's a lot of fish showing up. So that's the fish that are showing up right there. That's hard to tell, but that structure on the bottom, that lighter color. Red snapper. I'm looking for rocky structure, and that's all conducive stuff for red snapper. You can also catch lane snapper, mangrove snapper, and grouper. But that's just the way I fish, and if I like catching those kind of fish, that's the way I'm gonna fish. There's a big fish. Real nice red snapper.